Hey everyone, Mega here with a brand new Fate video. Now before we go into that, I just want to address something, and that is something about my Digi video. Now if you haven't seen that video, I'll place the link below. But I just want to clarify that at the moment, attacking Digi on how Ronnie is on Steins Gate 0 is not my focus at all. In fact, my plan is to actually address everything he said all in one video, but only after his video on the OVA, which I know he's going to make. I just wanted to address that in case any of you who subbed me after the video only subbed me because of my attack rather on Digi, and that's all you're waiting for. If I lose subscribers after this video, that's perfectly fine, and that's your choice. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on with the actual topic of this video. Now, as you all know, the Fate series takes characters from mythology or legends, as well as famous people from history, and changes up their story to suit their needs. Now, sometimes these changes actually end up making a good character for Fate, but in some cases, it just makes no sense at all. Now, in this video, we're going to be discussing a case where it actually makes no sense, and that is the reason why Medusa is a rider class servant in Fate, which makes no sense whatsoever. So to start, first off, we have to look at the different classes that Medusa can be summoned in: Rider, Lancer, and Avenger. Now, let's take a look at the conditions of each. The Rider class is reserved for servants who were known for riding mounts during their lifetime, whether it be living beasts or human constructs. Being summoned as a rider allows a rider instant mastery of anything that would qualify as a mount. This can be as simple as a horse or as complex as an airplane. Next, we have the Lancer class. The requirements of a Lancer was a warrior who was agile and skilled at using long-range melee weapons like a spear or a lance. And finally, we have Avenger class, which was an extra class originally created for Enga Mayu. To be summoned as an Avenger, the servant must have bared great hatred in the past. Avengers are the embodiment of hatred itself, which is why the class card shows what appears to be a tortured servant. Now, with all this in mind, let's look at the legend of Medusa. Medusa was one of the three sisters born to be known as the Gorgons. The Gorgon sisters were Sateno, Uriel, and Medusa. Medusa was mortal, while her sisters were immortal. In Fate, the origins of the lore traces back to the myth of Perseus and Medusa. Perseus was the son of Danae and Zeus, who came to Danae in the form of a golden spring. It was foretold to Danae's father, Arceus, or however that's pronounced, the king of Argos, that Danae's son would kill him. So Arceus locked away his daughter in a bronze chamber. But Zeus transformed himself into a shower of gold and impregnated her anyway. Arceus, not wanting to provoke Zeus, hurled his daughter and grandson in a wooden chest into the sea. The mother and son were rescued by Dictys on the island of Serophorus. Now, I guess this part of the lore, with the use of water and the ocean, is where they got the idea to make the changes. But moving on, it was Dictys who raised Perseus to manhood, but it was Dictys's brother Polydectes, the king, who would send them on a life-threatening quest. Polydectes fell in love with Perseus' mother and wished to marry her, but Perseus was protective of his mother, since he believed Polydectes to be dishonorable. Polydectes contrived to trick Perseus. He held a large banquet under the pretense of collecting contributions for the mayors of Hippodamia, who tamed horses. He requested that his guests bring horses for their gifts, but Perseus did not have one. When Perseus confessed that he had no gift, he offered any gift the king would name. Polydicteus seized his opportunity to disgrace and even get rid of Perseus, and asked for the head of the only mortal, Gorgon, Medusa. In some versions of the myth, Medusa was given a hideous appearance, but in other versions, she was born a monster, like her sisters. Described as bearded with serpents, vibrating tongues garnishing their teeth, having wings, brazen claws, and enormous teeth. Perseus, with the aid of divine gifts, found the Gorgon's cave and saved Medusa by beheading her. According to some versions of the myth, Medusa's blood mixed with a nearby ocean. This mixing of Medusa's blood and Poseidon's water gave birth to Pegasus, who flew out of the neck of Medusa. Now, in the Fate lore, Medusa got Pegasus as a gift from Poseidon after Athena became jealous of Medusa's beauty and transformed Medusa into a monster. In the actual Greek lore, after Pegasus was born from Medusa's corpse, Pegasus was later used in various adventures with Perseus and Bellerophon. Now, how does this relate to Fate? In this entire legend of Medusa, you don't see Medusa use anything related to a mount or a long-range melee weapon. So the fact that she can be summoned as a rider and a lancer makes no sense. Another issue with Medusa's noble phantasm is its name, Bellerophon, which is named after the tale of Bellerophon's adventures with Pegasus, which Medusa never met Bellerophon in the first place. So why does Medusa have a Pegasus if Pegasus was born after she had died? In fact, Medusa was not known for using weapons. She was known for her ability to petrify. And so she shouldn't even qualify as a lancer either. And if you look at the requirements for Avenger, it actually makes sense, because she was a monster, and she would bear hatred towards Perseus if she survived. In fact, her Avenger form pays tribute to her monster appearance. That was explained earlier. So with all this in mind, Medusa should have never been a rider or a lancer. Just keep her as an Avenger, and that would have been fine. But that's going to do it for this video. If you would like to see more Fate videos like this, be sure to let me know. And you can follow me on Twitter and check out my Discord. The links are all below. This has been Mega, and I will see you again next time.